How's it going, guys? In this video we're going to talk about the hilarious clip that's gone viral from Gwyneth Paltrow's trial, the fact that Kanye has been called out by Jewish organizations, and a Jonathan Majors update. First up, have you been keeping up with the Gwyneth Paltrow ski crash trial? Because it seems like everyone's watching it just to get a good laugh. The actress took the stand on Friday to testify in the civil case brought against her by retired optometrist Terry Sanderson. Now there's one particular clip of her testimony that's gone viral, and it's probably the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. The video shows Gwyneth Paltrow on the stand getting grilled by Terry Sanderson's lawyer, Kristen Van Norman, but the question she had for Gwyneth was so bizarre and irrelevant that it made her look like a fan rather than a lawyer. For instance, she asks her what kind of ski outfit she was wearing, and when Gwyneth tells her that she looked like everyone else, Kristen says, "I bet you had a better ski outfit though," and the compliments just keep on coming. Later on, she asks Gwyneth what her height is. When she says that she's 5'10", Kristen says, "I'm so jealous. I have to wear 4-inch heels just to make it to 5'5". She was also trying to backpedal a few times, like when she described Gwyneth as small but mighty, probably because her case rested on the idea that she was big enough to cause damage to Sanderson when she collided with him on the slope. The funniest part about this is that the lawyer seems to be a bit starstruck, and everyone picked up on it. Under the video, people wrote things like, "This examination felt more like watching a first date, and I felt so much secondhand embarrassment watching this." One person tweeted, "The wild part is that this woman is the lawyer of the person suing Gwyneth. Like, he hired a Gwyneth stan to represent him against Gwyneth." Not only that, but at another point in the trial, Kristen started grilling her about whether or not she was friends with Taylor Swift. In response, she said, "I would not say we're good friends, we are friendly. I've taken my kids to one of her concerts before, but we don't talk very often." But Kristen was not satisfied with that answer. She asked her if she had sent intimate gifts to Taylor for Christmas. As for how this relates to the case, well, no one really knows. She tried to find a link between the fact that Gwyneth is requesting only $1 in damages, the fact that Taylor did the same thing for her 2017 trial, but it's difficult to know exactly where she was going with that idea in the first place. There was also another shocking moment when she claimed that Gwyneth lied under oath a number of times during her depositions. The cross-examination was so insane that it made it seem like Sanderson ordered a lawyer from Wish. It was a complete disaster from start to finish. She was not able to get any damaging admissions out of the actress, and her time on the stand generally made her seem more likable. She was very polite to Kristen despite the fact that she was asked a bunch of awkward and bizarre questions. So no matter what happens, she's probably going to come out of this trial with more supporters than she started with. But that doesn't mean it was all sunshine and rainbows for her. Gwyneth has been getting mocked by a lot of people for one specific part of her testimony. At one point, she was asked about the losses she had suffered from the crash. In response, she looked frustrated and said, "Well, we lost half a day of skiing." That quote has quickly gone viral on social media, and it seems like everyone is making fun of it, even other celebrities. Actress Busy Phillips posted a photo of herself and Jen Tulacon on Instagram. She captioned the post with the line, "Well, we lost half a day of skiing." Not only that, but plenty of people sarcastically offered thoughts and prayers to her, and there was a ton of memes created about it. One person tweeted, "I am fascinated by how rich white woman this trial is. It's detached from reality and it's compelling." The quote itself is kinda crazy because it reminds you of just how out of touch Gwyneth Paltrow really is. There were also other moments in the trial that were just downright hilarious because it showed everyone just how little was at stake. Like the moment that Sanderson said that he was no longer able to enjoy wine tasting as a result of his injuries that he says he sustained in the incident. In response, Gwyneth said she feels sorry for him because it seemed like he's had a very difficult life, but she maintains that she did not cause the accident and is therefore not responsible for anything that subsequently happened to him. When she was asked to describe the collision, she said, "There was a body pressing against me and there was a very strange grunting noise. My brain was trying to make sense of what was happening, and I thought, is this a practical joke? Is someone doing something perverted?" So at first she thought that someone was touching her inappropriately before she realized what was actually happening. Now this is just the latest development in what's shaping up to be the funniest celebrity trial of the year. In the coming days, Gwyneth's lawyers are expected to call on her two children, 16-year-old Moses and 18-year-old Apple, who both were present on the day of the incident. They're also going to be calling on her ski instructor to testify. So what do you think of the trial so far? Please let me know in the comments below. Next up, Kanye West has now been called out by several Jewish organizations for seemingly trying to take back his past statements. On another episode of What Did Kanye Say Now, he returned to social media over the weekend and decided to post an update on his feelings towards Jewish people. Considering his horrible track record, it was almost like he was trying to fix everything that he's said in the past. He took to Instagram and wrote, "Watching Jonah Hill in 21 Jump Street made me like Jewish people again. No one should take anger against one or two individuals and transform that into hatred towards millions of innocent people. No Christian can be labeled an anti-Semite knowing Jesus is Jew. Thank you, Jonah Hill. I love you. His bizarre post did not get a response from the actor, but the directors of 21 Jump Street, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, reacted on their own Twitter accounts. They wrote, thanks for watching, and laughter is the best medicine? And of course, the comment section on his post was filled with people joking about Kanye's change of heart. Someone wrote, "This is gonna be in a history textbook in like 100 years. And we live in a South Park episode." But not everyone thought that it was funny. Kanye was called out by two prominent organizations who came through with a very serious response. The watchdog group Stop Anti-Semitism and the American Jewish Committee both made it clear that a simple social media post is not going to be enough to erase his anti-Semitism. The executive director of Stop Anti-Semitism released a statement saying, "Joking about a movie with Jonah Hill is not the apology that Jewish people deserve from Kanye, particularly when his anti-Semitic tirades continue to have a dangerous trickle-down effect of hatred against Jews." She did say that forgiveness is a possibility, but he would have to publicly denounce his associates like Nick Fuentes and properly apologize for his past statements. The American Jewish Committee also feels similarly. Their spokesperson released a statement saying, "It is a little odd that all it might take for Kanye to renounce his vile anti-Semitism is to watch an 11-year-old Jonah Hill movie. Whether or not he is sincere, only he knows." They say that he still has a lot of explaining and apologizing to do, but they're also willing to meet with him if he sincerely wants to do the right thing. The organization makes it clear that the path to forgiveness could only be possible if he chooses to renounce all of his statements. Then and only then could they contemplate giving him another chance. This makes sense in theory because of course he should be apologizing, but unfortunately the damage is already done. It's been proven that his statements have already caused real-world violence. Last month, the Anti-Defamation League reported that more than 30 anti-Semitic incidents have been directly linked to his comments. These incidents included things like vandalism, banner drops, and propaganda distributions, even on college campuses. We saw a massive uptick in the use of the slogan "Ye is right," which surfaced online in hashtags and anti-Semitic accounts. In fact, since October the 1st, there have been more than 10,000 Twitter mentions using that same slogan, and those posts reached more than 5 million users. Kanye's outburst coincided with Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter in October, which came with an increase in anti-Semitic posts on the platform and a decrease in moderation. The instances of vandalism have been even worse. It's been seen at schools, colleges, Jewish institutions, public areas, and commercial locations. These included graffiti saying Kanye was right and DEFCON 3 on a sidewalk in the University of Wisconsin campus. His comments have also resulted in a number of people and organizations being targeted. According to the report, a Jewish-owned restaurant in LA got a call asking for the Kanye special, and back in October, a group of 5 people, all wearing hats and masks, showed their support for the rapper by hanging a disturbing banner from an LA highway. Of course, the rise in anti-Semitic hate crimes is something that he simply has not addressed. It's a very serious issue and something that can't just be swept under the rug with a joke about Jonah Hill. Until he actually recognizes the full implications of everything he said, it's unlikely that Kanye will be able to repair the damage that's already been done. And if you think it's a good idea not to give him any more attention, tell that to the BBC. They recently announced that they're working on a documentary and an 8-part podcast exploring his life. It's supposed to be called "We Need to Talk About Kanye," where he will be confronted by an investigative journalist called Mobeen Azhar, who also led the BBC's documentary on Britney Spears. It will cover his 2024 presidential campaign and of course his very public downfall over the last couple of months. In a recent interview, he was accompanied by far-right commentator Milo Yiannopoulos, who he referred to as his campaign manager, which unsurprisingly was not a popular decision. This new documentary is set to cover the time period that Kanye lost his place in popular culture and became ostracized from polite society. Most likely, it will also delve into his childhood and his rise to fame. Not only that, but the BBC will also be releasing an 8-part podcast series called The Kanye Story, which is said to be focusing a lot more on the impact of his anti-Semitism. So do you think this is a good idea or a terrible one? Let me know in the comments below. And last but not least, let's talk about the Jonathan Majors situation. The 33-year-old Marvel actor was arrested on Saturday morning in Manhattan after a domestic dispute that happened in the Chelsea neighborhood. He was taken into custody on suspicion of strangulation and other violent acts. The woman at the scene told officers that she was attacked. She was then taken to a hospital with minor injuries to her head and her neck. Jonathan's lawyer Priya Chaudhry released a statement saying that he is completely innocent and is provably the victim of an altercation with a woman that he knows. She said, "We are quickly gathering and presenting evidence to the district attorney with the expectation that all charges will be dropped dropped imminently. This evidence includes video footage from the vehicle where this episode took place, witness testimony from the driver, and others who saw and heard the episode, and most importantly, 2 written statements from the woman recanting these allegations. This news is pretty surprising given the fact that just weeks ago, Jonathan was presented an award at the Oscars. He was declared one of Hollywood's next big stars. He starred in blockbusters like the Rocky sequel Creed 3 and the indie film Magazine Dreams. But his breakout role came in the new Ant-Man and the Wasp movie, where he was cast as the latest Marvel supervillain, Kang the Conqueror. Fans have been super excited about this because he was supposed to be the flag bearer for the next wave of the MCU. His character was set to be the equivalent to Thanos in the Avengers movie, so there was a ton of hype for his career. But all of that hype came crashing down with these latest allegations. He was set to be in a campaign for the US Army, but they have since decided to put that on pause. They released a statement saying, "While Mr. Majors is innocent until proven guilty, prudence dictates that we pull our ads until the investigation into these allegations is complete." Not only that, but 2 separate directors have come out claiming that Jonathan's arrest was a part of a larger pattern of his alleged bad behavior. In February, filmmaker and cinematographer A.B. Allen posted a cryptic message to Twitter describing him as a vicious, cruel human being, both professionally and in his personal life. He didn't mention Jonathan by name, but it was heavily implied to be about him. Another director, Tim Nicolai, also spoke out on Twitter. He wrote, "Folks at Yale and the broader NYC community have known about him for years. He's a sociopath, and that is how virtually everyone speaks about him. These latest allegations against him are proving to be extremely serious, but so far we haven't heard anything from Marvel. So we'll just have to wait and see how the investigation goes." Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.